Internet, it is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we're going to be talking about Moonage Daydream. So as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So let's get to it. Pros. This documentary is a documentary, right? I'm pretty sure it's classified. Yeah. Well, it's biography. No, it's a documentary. Okay. This documentary is all about one David Bowie, one of the most recognizable and influential musical artists of all time. Right? I mean, song I know from him the most is Space Odyssey, which is a great song. It's sad how I came to know that because I found that out via a parody. It was like from a weird Minecraft. It was like Mine Oddity, and then that's where I found the real version. So that's sad to say. But still, great song, fantastic song, and I'm pretty sure, I'm positive Nirvana they did like a cover of it. I forgot what it was called, but they did a cover of that song. Um, and I do remember Dave Bowie. He was in Jim Henson's Labyrinth, right? That was one of those kids movies that it's questionable if it even is a kids movie, because kids movies in the 80s were weird, to say the least. I mean, you got stuff like Labyrinth and The Never Ending Story. That's a real nightmare fuel one. Oh, Return to Oz. That is terror. um, yeah, like kids were traumatized back then and nobody cared. So, yeah, I remember him from that. Even though the movie wasn't a hit, it's still recognizable. But yeah, David Bowie, millions of fans. When he died in 2016. People were sad. Like that was like a that hit a lot of people hard. So I imagine all of his fans will want to watch something like this, right? So obviously David Bowie is the big draw here, so that's a pro, easy pro. Another pro is that it's run so far. It had a limited run last weekend in like 170 theaters, and it opened to over $1 million in 170 theaters. That's pretty good, I would say. Heck, that's better than some movies that open in like 2,000 theaters like this year, which really tells you everything. So I had a good limited start last weekend and it expands wide this weekend. There's no number of like theaters, but it's supposed to be a wide release. So I say that's a good sign, a positive sign. So I consider that to be a pro. Another pro I could think of is that when it comes to these documentary movies about like there's like documentary concert movie things, it's confusing what to call these things, about like musical artists and musicians. All right, I have to figure this out. This is going to be difficult. I think there was I'm pretty sure like it was the Beatles. The Beatles like had one earlier this year. I forgot what it was called. Uh, it was from Peter Jackson. I have to find it. The Beatles Get Back. There we go. There we go. Okay. Although that opened earlier this year, it was a very limited release. Like 1 week, not one weekend only. But it was in like 67 theaters, it made like $391,000, which isn't a great number, but it's all right, I'd say. But it was for like that one day, that one single day. So for a 1 day gross, that's pretty good. And then let's see, try to think of some others. I know there was a This Is It from Michael Jackson. That's a big one. With that, that came out the year of Michael Jackson's death, so naturally there'd be a lot of publicity, and I can't get this to work. Ugh, I'll just do it here. Sorry about this cough. I've been sick all week. It sucks. It really does. Okay, there we go. I was worried I was gonna have to be ultra specific. So this is it. This is another one of those, documentary movies. It had a wide release, like a big old release. Opened like 23 million, made like 72 million domestic, 250 million worldwide. I think it's the biggest out of all of these movies by far. Uh Music industry, there we go. This might make things a lot easier, maybe. We're trying to ignore all like the movie ones, the dramatizations. We're trying to get like the real thing, the real deal. Katy Perry, Part of Me, that's another one that did meh. One would think with Katy Perry's popularity would have done great, but not really. No. um, let's look through these others. There was like Justin Bieber had one in 2011. Never Say Never. That one did really well. They did Believe in 2013. That tanked hard. And I think that's it for like all the major ones. So this whole thing, well, I guess there was the One Direction one from like 2013. That one did all right. So yeah, the success of, and I think Jonas Brothers had another one. That was just like a concert experience. So the whole track record of these movies is kind of mixed, but when they hit, they hit. All right. So I would consider that to be a pro. You know, being a documentary about a musical artist documentary. Those can do really well, especially theatrically. So that's pro. Another pro I can think of is, competition is real light. I mean, sure, there's Don't Worry Darling, which is getting all the attention. Not for all the, not exactly for the greatest reasons, but it's getting attention. Not to mention there's other movies that are doing somewhat substantial, like Woman King and Barbarian, and Avatar re-releases out this weekend too. Everything else is sad. So, but we could stand out a little bit, which would be good. So I would consider that to be a pro. Competition being kind of pathetic. Well, somewhat strong, but mostly pathetic. Trying to think of another pro. What are the reviews? I imagine they're good. No, they're really good. They're spectacular. 91% from critics. 82% from audiences, so word of mouth will not be an issue at all. So that's an easy pro. I think that's it now. I can't think of anything else when it comes to pros. Okay, cons. I don't know how many theaters is going to be in for its wide release. I can't imagine it's in a whole lot. So, uh, it could have like a limited reach somewhat because it's not getting like a super wide release. It's not like this is it or anything like that. So that's a bit of a con, I would say. Uh, I think that's really it. Well, I guess apparently this is coming spring 2023 on HBO Max. So some people would rather wait to watch it then. Or maybe the demand has already been filled last week with its IMAX showing. So that could be a con too. But I can't think of anything else. So opening weekend, made 1.2 million, like 170 theaters last week. So this week, I think about the same. I'm gonna have a range between 1 to 2 million. I think that's realistic. And then it's total. Well, it might reach like 6 million total. I think that could be achievable, which wouldn't be too bad considering its release. Type of movie it is. So yeah, yeah. That's it for Moonage Daydream. It's a weird title. Moonage. I've never had to use that word in my life until now. One more movie to talk about. Won't be much to talk about, but I have to talk about it anyway. On the come up. And then that'll be it for the weekend. Yay. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage for all previous prediction videos I made this year. So you want to watch any of the past prediction videos I made this year, go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I covered Moonage Daydream once before. It was with Salem's Lot and Last Train to New York. That was episode 138. Yeah, 138. I talked about it then. So, yeah. So if you want to watch that episode or any other cancel episodes I've made, go go right ahead. I highly encourage it. You have 155 episodes to choose from. Binge it from beginning to now. Go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. I already mentioned summer 2022 recap videos. Those have been pushed back to next week. That will be the last delay. I promise you. And then September recap, that will happen the first week of October. So stay tuned for those videos. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.